And I think these examples, you know, they may not be major in themselves, but do you think they just reinforce people's broader opinions about Meghan?
I think in a sense it does, because that, you know, I think especially with the Sussexes, with the exception of Harry's book, it's always just been, you know, insinuations and assumptions. Nothing's ever been very straightforward and very clear. So, for instance, with her lawsuit with the Daily Mail, the judge said there were elements of her claims that were either factually untrue or that she left out. And you know, when you kick up such a fuss about, you know, your privacy and how you want to be viewed and, you know, the things that are written about you, it's very important to be very factual and accurate. Now, this may just be her lack of experience in the media and kind of dealing with the working machine of the press and the royal family, more broadly speaking. But I do think there is an element of just withholding the truth or not being as forthcoming or trying to play a game that you're not very good at. And sometimes, you know, honesty is generally the best policy.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely. Now, Esther, I don't know about you, but I grew up with South Park, and nothing in their sites has ever been sacred. And they do have this, in my view, perfectly irreverent way of reading the room. This week, they've taken a swipe at Harry and Meghan, and it's gone viral.
We want privacy! We want privacy! Thanks for having us on the show.
It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
So let me start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Wah. Yes, that's right, friend. You see, my wife and I...
Oh, totally, like, you should write a book because your family's, like, stupid, and then so are, like, journalists.
So you hate journalists. That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist.
We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard.
Esther, why did this play so well?
One, because it was very funny. I actually watched the entire episode and I was howling laughing. I thought it was brilliant. I mean, I think it really encapsulates how many Americans are feeling. The episode was very clever in the sense that they call them the Canadian royal family, which is technically true. But it really was kind of a play on modern times. I think one of the reasons why it really resonated is because it was so cutthroat and brutally honest. You know, the Sussexes made it very clear that one of the reasons why they were leaving the royal family was in pursuit of their own privacy. And in the time since, in the years since, they've done everything to prove the opposite. You know, they can't seem to get enough of media attention. I don't think people understand even the Harry's book that's been released is part of a multi-book deal, right? You know, how many people leave their family and record themselves on the plane the entire time, or have a film crew follow them all over their adventures in pursuit of privacy? I mean, in the South Park episode, it was literally called the Privacy World Tour, which I thought was a fantastic play on the circumstances. But I also think it just goes to show that really they are getting out of touch with the American public more broadly, because I think people are just starting to not understand what exactly the grievances are of a very wealthy, privileged couple could possibly be to warrant all this constant media attention and this constant whinging.
Yeah, absolutely. And this isn't the first time that South Park has had a crack. They also had a crack at the royal wedding.
The Prince now dipping his arms into the pudding, as is tradition. Princess will, of course, scrape the pudding off the princess's arms, thus symbolizing their union. What a glorious day for our country and indeed the world.
And now, of course, wait a minute. What's this? Oh, something is going terribly wrong.
The Abbey shaking violently as explosions abound. The top of the Abbey is collapsing. The prince and the princess look on in horror. This is not the tradition. This is not tradition at all. Bright beam of light shooting through the hole in the ceiling. The princess now in some kind of isometric cube. This is certainly breaking with tradition now.
That also made me laugh. I just thought that was so exceptionally funny. And do you think this sort of parody plays to the views of younger people, you know, their views that they have towards the royals more generally?
I think absolutely. I think it's meme culture. It's a reflection of what people are actually feeling. I often say that South Park are equal opportunity haters, so no one is safe. I don't think this was unique to the Sussexes, but I do find it amusing how well they encapsulated most people's feelings around the Sussexes, whether you're for them, you're against them, whether you're sympathetic to their plight or not. I think at some point everyone can realize that all this oversharing and all this constant, you know, complaining, it really does become grating when most people are in a cost of living crisis and you have this couple that are living on a mansion in Montecito with a bunch of chicken coops.
I'd pay good money to see that. Esther, thank you so much for joining us again. No doubt we'll have a chat with you again soon. Thank you.